I'm sure you look.
God almighty. Are you serious? What do you got in this thing?
Everything. He just dropped my bag.
That's not like, I don't know what's in that thing.
I took my water out so it's lighter.
That thing needs to be licensed.
So it's comedy gold. I'm glad I'm recording already.
Oh, hey, you go.
See you later.
Good afternoon. I'm gonna call the meeting to order. We'll go ahead and get started. We've got something that got to get to another meeting, so we'll get started on this. At this time, I'd like to call on Mayor Flora Simon and Judge Richard Tyndall to welcome to the Shea County event. Choose who goes first.
Most of the time when I stand back here and I look at this many dignitaries in this room, the Shea County just had a disaster. Thank God it didn't happen this time. But I welcome everybody here. I'm really proud to see this many folks in attendance and hope we come back soon.
I thank the judge for that, and I'm glad it's not a disaster either. Because a lot of times lately, when you're having a meeting here, it has been related to disaster as well. So I want to just add to his and say thank you for coming to Dumas. It is a really good day and a good crowd, and I know a lot will be accomplished. And since you are in Dumas, I thought I'd use this opportunity to tell you a little bit about Dumas. As far as projects are going, you already know Dumas is a fine town to visit, to live in, to pass through. Because a lot of people say, oh, I know what Dumas is. I passed through there. I say, yeah, going south. They say, yes. Okay, but anyway, if you stop by, you'll see that we are trying to do things to keep it looking beautiful as well as inviting. We have the same problems that everybody else seems to be having right now. And that's trying to get good workers and keep good workers. And it does seem like it doesn't make any difference what you offer them. You're still having a problem trying to recruit and keep. But Dumas have quite a few projects going on right now. You don't exactly see them with your eyes, but they are going on. We have 3 water projects going on at this time to help our neighboring communities. We have 2 wastewater projects going on, one with Winchester, and one will start soon with Mitchellville. And then we have a water project to sell wholesale water by running a line connecting Pickens as well. So not only are we trying to help our communities, but in the process of doing that, we're getting a little help with our infrastructure as well. We do have plans in a way to build a new maintenance building, and that will be out on Highway 54 West, where the old Dollar General warehouse was once located. So hopefully, we will soon be able to get some iron and some steel and some tin and everything that's needed to start erecting that building. We've thought about the health and safety of the community. So the city council is invested in some sky top cameras to kind of make sure people feel a little bit safer in this community. And we have recently replaced a chiller system at a tune of $130,000 for the police department. And along with all of that, we're placing a lot of emphasis on code enforcement. We just got through talking at the table about trying to enforce cleanups and removal of old houses, old buildings that are dilapidated in town. And that's a real slow process when you're trying to do it through the legal method to get it done correctly. But we are in the process of trying to do all those things. So we're doing all of that. We are trying to do something in this town to make it look good, make people feel good about staying here, and trying to get the citizens also to invest in their own town and to do something to help themselves as well. And I'll just close by saying that all of us in here are mayors or county judges or whatever. So you know it doesn't make it different how much we do. It's never enough. So we just keep on going and keep on hoping that at the end of the day, some type of reward comes from it. Thank you for coming, and come back again.
At this time, I'd like to invite Ms. Catherine Andrews, the Director of the Small Business and Entrepreneurship Division, to introduce herself to the board.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me. My name is Catherine Andrews, and I am the Director of the newly created Small Business and Entrepreneurship Development at the Arkansas Economic Development Commission. This new division was created back in May of this year, specifically to house all of the resources that we have as an agency for small business owners and entrepreneurs, and to push our message forward more effectively. So we have all kinds of incentives if you are a small business owner who is adding people, if you are developing a new technology, if you are building a new building or have a new office space, if you are doing any kind of research and development, raising capital, we have all kinds of different incentives for those types of companies. So that could be anything from income tax credits to sales and use tax refunds. We have income tax credits for raising capital, so all of these things. So I wanted to come introduce myself today to tell you, if you are working with a small business owner and you think, hey, maybe they would qualify for some kind of state incentive, please give me a call and let me know. I'm going to leave my business cards here. We have a new webpage on our website. So if you go to arkansas.edc.com, you'll find our new webpage. On that webpage is an enormous database and list of resources statewide for small business owners and entrepreneurs, everything from mentoring spaces, incubators, business consulting and coaching organizations, all kinds of things. So go to that list, reference it. There's also a list of the incentives on there and a business process checklist. So a business owner can go there and say, number one, how to register your business in Arkansas. It'll take you to the Secretary of State's page, and it can show you how to file your taxes or who to contact to talk about patents. So there's an enormous, awesome list on there. So we are working on building that resource database and helping our small business owners and entrepreneurs in Arkansas. So again, if you're working with anybody and think maybe they might qualify for something for the state, or think, hey, here's this business owner with this problem, or they need a solution for something or an idea. Maybe AADC can point them in the direction. We're also hoping to be a resource provider, a connector to all kinds of resources statewide. So I'll leave my business cards up here. Thank y'all for having me. And nice to meet you all.
This time I'd like to ask any of our guests to stand and introduce themselves.
My name is David Ryder. I'm a South Arkansas Food Representative for Central Comcon. I've been to several meetings.
Glad to have you.
Ty Davis, Senator John Both's office, I'm in the Stuttgart office, I handle all of the agriculture.
I'm Jay Schrock. This is my everybody knows him. With Congressman Crawford's office. I just wanted to say thank you to everybody with redistricting. Having recently, we managed to, we were able to keep Southeast Arkansas, our counties intact in the first district that were in the first district. So I want to say thank everybody who called, who visited. I know a lot of judges and people visited the Capitol to lobby on behalf of staying in the first district or staying in the fourth, whatever y'all did. Thank you all for doing that. We really appreciate it. Love being in Southeast Arkansas. Love having these counties down here in Southeast Arkansas. Hopefully we'll continue to have them even after this is all done. Thank you so much.
I'm State Representative Mark McElroy, and I'm from the government. I'm here to help.
Jeff Nasser, I'm the Director of Enterprise Services for the Arkansas Department of Energy and Environment. Division of Environmental Quality. So I work with various stakeholder groups, elected officials, small businesses, helping y'all understand environmental compliance, advocate for y'all's needs with our leadership. So if you have any questions about that, I'd be happy to talk to you.
I'm Georgiana Clausen from the city of Pittsburgh, administrative coordinator.
Vision of energy, environment, and work.
I'm Krista Dane. I'm the regional manager for South Arkansas for the state's economic development agency, AEDC. So I work closely with Catherine. So I cover 24 counties in South Arkansas. So probably everyone from all the communities that are represented here.
And I brought a guest today, that's the Chico County OEM Director. We're glad to have Mike Morgan here today. At this time, we will entertain a motion to approve the minutes that were included in your packet. So have a motion second. Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Right now, we'll move to the financial statements that are also included in your packet. With a motion and a second.
So moved.
And a second. We got a second. And any questions? If not, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? And at this moment, I'll call on Mr. Hargrove to the staff.
Good afternoon, everyone. For those I haven't had a chance to greet you like I normally do. Hi, how are you? I usually try to come around and speak to everybody personally and just see how everyone is doing. The first thing I would like to do at this point, we have some great news from the city of Crossett, and I would like for the Mayor Marshall, to stand up or come forth and let everyone know why we're so excited. You can come up here. I want them all to hear you. I'm a little short.
Thank you, Ms. Patricia. Thank you not only for that nice welcome, but Ms. Patricia and her team played a big part in this wonderful news that I'm very honored to get to share with you all today. The city of Crossett has been very invested in pursuing several different grants. In fact, I said at one of our community meetings at the beginning of this year, if there was a word that was the theme of the year, it's grants. So we have been diligently pursuing several, and one particularly for over a year, 18 months, possibly 2 years, and we just received the very incredible news that we received a $1.46 million grant through the EDA in partnership with our local economic development as well as CEAD. So congratulations to all of us for the tenacity and the commitment to overcoming every hurdle that came our way, and there were many. So we've got a long road ahead of us to implement not only the project, but to successfully and correctly implement the grant. But we look forward to the hard work and are very grateful to everybody who helped make it happen. Thank you.
We just believe here in the southeast area that, these small, although not small, $1.4 million is not small. These successes are successes for an entire area. Okay, so I want to thank the city of Crossett. They hung in there and they got it done. Now the hard work starts. Okay. You have a document in your packet.
Is it the policy update?
Yes.
It's in the very back.
It's in there. We were going over our information, personnel information concerning policies, and there was one policy in here that needed to be updated, for lack of a better term. It is CED's proposed parental leave policy. And this policy would affect our full-time employees. And we're such a small organization, and it's been a while since we've had to use parental leave policies. But normally we would just have leave time. But we're at a place now where we do need to hone in and get a criteria set for what is described as a parental leave policy. And this will affect our full-time employees. And it is for those full-time employees who have given birth, a spouse or committed partner of someone who has given birth or have adopted a child or have been placed in foster care of a child who is 17 years or younger. We've been meeting with our attorneys to get more information and how to write this up, and they did prepare this for us. Now, parental leave is not as easy as it used to be. So we figured this time we are submitting this proposed parental leave policy for your approval. And I'll give you time to read it. It's in your packet, it's probably in the back page. Yes, yes. Yes.
How much time on PTO and employee PTO?
It's 360 hours what we can accumulate. It's 360 hours carries over, yes.
It does carry over in our policy, once you max at the 360, if you do not, it's not a use it or lose it, it goes into our retirement account.
And it's more or less for people that did not get to accrue that amount of leave.
When you have such a young staff, and young, I mean the number of years that they have been working with the organization, they do not have as many hours accumulated to take that kind of leave. Which I don't have to worry, I personally don't have to worry about parental leave, but I've been here like forever, so I have plenty.
The CA proposed for us to leave.
I'm going to ask something.
Yes.
It says having be a spouse of committee partner. So if Shane's wife has another youngin, the Shane can take off 6 weeks.
Or we are using our PTO. It's not like you're saying you can take off paid leave or, and you don't use your PTO. You're still using your PTO.
That's what this is.
It
says he
can, but he has to use PTO and what we're working on now is with the attorneys is that they have to go in the hole for their PTO.
But we're approving this, it's not on here.
Yeah, we're still working on it. We just have to.
So there's not this is a draft. You're still waiting on information back from the attorneys.
That is a draft. Yes.
Correct. I would feel more comfortable waiting to hear back from the attorneys as to final language, because this can be an HR nightmare. I know.
This is true.
So I would,
Well, we got a motion and a second on the floor, so we need to withdraw that if we're gonna not vote on that.
Or she can amend it to.
That's what we were planning on doing, is if we needed to amend it with the correct verbiage.
Yeah, that is what the plan was, to approve it as it is. The thing is, being such a small organization, we're not up under the FMLA. So this is the way so we can get the language clarified for those who are in need of that,
With the motion on the board, to withdraw.
if that's what they want to do.
I don't remember who made the motion.
And it can be amended at the
That's what she
next
wants to do.
If she wants to amend it to not take total action on it, but to refer it back to the law. That's basically what she's asking, is that before you actually make it approval, she wants to amend to refer it back to the lawyer for added information.
Okay.
actually, I really would prefer to see final language from the attorneys before anything's approved.
Well, we need to make motions in seconds to those things, so,
You can just vote it up that.
right. And I think we have a motion to approve it and a second. So we need to call on the vote on that. All in favor, say aye. None, anybody, all opposed?
Yes, I'm in favor.
Opposed?
Did we get the final?
That's fine.
So now the floor is open now.
Yeah, so we're up to the floor is open. If anybody wants to make another motion, we can at this time.
I vote that we table this until we get final language from the attorneys. I make a motion. I'm sorry.
Okay, so we have a motion and second, so all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Y'all making me earn my pay today.
Okay.
So then,
Yes, we will, get the final information from the attorney, bring it back before you after, and it'll be final at that point. Okay? Perfect. Okay. Next item is, let's talk about the CN building. In your packet, you have an email that I received from our architect with a schedule. We have closed on the loan with the bank. So that part is finished, that is locked in, and I've had conversations with our loan officer. And he's understanding because of the environment that we are in with commercial construction. Everything's up. We're looking at increases of 20, 25%, everything is up. And if it's not the materials up, it's the shipping situation, getting materials in. And if it's not that, it's the labor. So based on all that information that we know of, conversations with construction companies, engineers, or architect, and the bank, the engineer a proposed schedule as far as waiting to see what the environment is going to be. And right now, it's just to put everything on hold to see if numbers are going to go down. Relook at and examine the market at the beginning of the year. And if we need to, at that point, and we don't see that it's moving towards going down or at least leveling out, we need to look at making some material changes and cost-cutting changes to the building. And I've spoken to our loan officer about that, and he doesn't have an issue with us changing materials to try to reduce costs if necessary. And we got a feeling that will probably end up happening. He's even open to the fact of maybe reducing the size of the building, which I don't want to do. But we have 5 years to spend the EDA money. EDA is understanding of where we are in this construction situation because everyone's in the same boat. Even my colleagues in other parts of the state, they have started some construction and they're sitting in a building with sheetrock missing and they just can't get it completed. The architect told me they're doing a building now and they're sitting with an open building because they can't get their windows. Just different things that are going on. So the smart thing to do at this point is to just wait and see what happens. And then let's approach it again and see where we are in the market at the beginning of the year. And then we'll determine whether we need to start looking at making cost cutting measures or looking towards getting ready to go out to bid. But right now you're looking at some major increases in materials, unexpected labor and shipping. And I wish I could go get some more money, but even if you get more money, it's still going to be high. Things are still going up. So that's where we are at the building. It breaks my heart to say that, but it's just real tough, I guess. The next thing, and it's more of a workforce, but I have been talking with you guys for a while now concerning the DOL waiver, Department of Labor waiver request. The documentation that was submitted from the CEOs to CS, we did send that to the state and the state submitted it to Department of Labor. So it's all in their hands at this point. So we're waiting to see if they're going to consider the waiver approved or whatever, or ask for more documentation. So everything, we have sent everything to them. We're just waiting on a decision at this point. And I'm really hoping that the decision is favorable to us. All right. In your activities report, I think it's on the first page. Last meeting, I talked to you about a series of workforce workshops that the Arkansas State University Delta Center and the UALR Economic Development Institute are having concerning the response to COVID. They had topic-focused workshops, virtual workshops that are free to the region. And they have speakers on there that just tell you about resources and different things that are available and what they have learned concerning the COVID pandemic recovery and resiliency efforts. In there, it shows you that there are going to be 2 more workshops. One is going to be October the 26th, and it is from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. This is virtual, and it's going to talk about resources for businesses in recovery and resiliency. There's another one that's going to be November 4th, And this workshop is for the future of broadband in Arkansas. In there, you also have the website where you can go to and sign up for these workshops. So you can get more information about what they're talking about, information about the speakers. And you can also go on there and see the data that has been collected today about information concerning the impact that COVID has had in your regions and the state of Arkansas. Now, also on that page, you will see there are two web links there, and one says for Southeast residents and one is for Southeast Arkansas organizations. What they are also doing, and they being Arkansas State University, Delta Center, and UALR, they are collecting information on the impact that this pandemic has had on you as a resident and your organizations. This information is very important because when we do grant applications, when you're trying to get data to secure certain things, they are looking for data information to support the reasons for these projects and why you need what the impact was in transportation, what the impact was in public safety. And this is the way you and your residents and whoever, everybody in your house can fill out this actual survey. I did one, it took less than 3 minutes. It doesn't take long at all. Just to put information in there so they can gather data on the impact that you feel that COVID and the recovery and anything associated with it has had for your particular self or your location. There is on that website page, you can click into your areas and see what kind of data has been collected to date. Right now, there's not a lot of information coming from Southeast, and we really do need to infiltrate that information into that website so they can see what impacts we have had. Right now, it's not showing any impact on tourism. It's not showing too much information on healthcare. We have had things that happen in Southeast Arkansas that need to be recorded. And this is where we can go and show the feds and the state when they ask for where you get your data for, to say that you need this information, you need these funds, you need this program to come into your area. We can say we got it off of this website and here's the information. So if you guys can just sign on, fill out some of these surveys, give it to your population, pass it out. We're going to send out an email with this information on it. You just pass it out by email and just get whoever you can to fill it out, like I said, very short, and give as much information as possible. They are collecting it. And if they're not collecting enough information, let me know so I can contact the one that is doing these surveys and say, you need to ask us more information on something else. You're not capturing this particular data, and we need that data to be captured, okay? Next thing. Okay, Delta Regional Authority. As of when I left the office today, we still did not have a federal co-chair. What does that mean? The applications that were submitted back here months ago, they're still sitting there. They can't make a decision on it. Projects that are sitting there that may be in need of, say, modifications. I know of one project that because of the increase in prices or whatever, you can't go to, I would normally go to DRA and prove the case that we are needing more money to do this project because of the increased prices in materials, blah, blah. Can't do that because they can't make a decision on that particular item. So what I am saying to you today, to please talk to your federal legislative delegation and ask them to please go ahead and look into appointing someone for Delta Regional Authority so we can get these projects off center, okay? And each one of you can turn to them today and say, please, as soon as possible, because they all have projects in here and they're very much, very important to our Delta region. So if you can get that moving off center and get somebody appointed so we can move forward, because before we know it, it's going to be time for another DRA round. And we do use those funds in this area. Delta Regional Authority has been very good to Southeast Arkansas. And we want that to continue on. So if there's anything we can do, if you need to write letters and emails or whatever, let us know. But please reach out and let them know how important that is for us. And if you need to know who they are, the representatives are here. And if you want to write them a letter or an email, I think we have their contact information in the back. Okay. I think last but not least, let's talk about the 2020 census information that's in your packets. That information that we gathered came from the 2020 census website. In your chart, you see the information that was from the 2010. You see information that, for those who understand the low moderate income percentages, that is HUD numbers. And my colleagues and I, we are estimating that new HUD LMI figures will be coming out about spring or summer of next year. So those LMI numbers are still good. But the 2020 census numbers that you see in that chart came off of the 2020 U.S. Census website. And I have talked to a few of you, and those numbers, based on information that you have received, that number does not line up with the information that you have received. Nita, can you explain the 2020 numbers? Let me say it this way. Somebody asked me, was that accurate? So I'm gonna say it this way. Those are the numbers that are on the 2020 U.S. Census website. Okay, and that's all we, have to go on. Nita, can you say something about what you were telling me?
I know very little, but I know the folks in Senator Bozeman's office has sent me a link. I believe it's called a QCR. Anyway, count question response something. I can't remember what they call it, but I have the link and I'll send it to you.
Okay.
But it's my understanding the Census Bureau will open a public comment period. They said sometime in the fall this year. I haven't seen that date open, but the good folks in Senator Bozeman's office did say they would try to help keep us informed as they see these things come out of the Census Bureau. But there is a way to question your count if you believe that it's wrong. And we do in Monticello County, we think that it's wrong. And so we'll see. It may not get us anywhere, but at least there is supposed to be an avenue by which you can say that you question the accuracy of the census counts.
And then if you give us any information about that, if you know, if you don't, but no, okay. What we'll do, we'll find that link, that information, and get it out to everybody. So you have a way to ask your questions, or at least let them know your take on those numbers. We will be constantly looking on the census website to see if they're changing. I'm waiting to hear when those numbers have been certified or when they're final. I've been trying to find that answer for a while and nothing. So I am waiting for that, but I just want you to understand that this is the information that is on the website right now. And if this is incorrect, we need to make sure that final numbers are correct, based on the information that you've received, and go from there. But as soon as we get that information, that website information out, we'll get it to everybody. So if you have any comments you need to make at that point, let's go ahead and send it to them and let them know that, you're questioning the count for your group. Okay? All right. Now, I'm going to call on we have a new staff person, and I'm gonna let him introduce himself, a new director of workforce services.
Good afternoon. My name is Joanne Ford, and I've been on board now with CA since about September 20th. I took the role of Director of Workforce Services. Previously held by Eddie Thomas, who's now with BWS. But before I go into that, I want to give congratulations to one of my team members for completing leadership Pine Bluff. Chiquita Alexander, she's completing a long 9-month program. So if y'all can join me, give her a round of applause. I don't have much of an update to give as it relates to having been on board now just for about 3 weeks, but I will say while having been on board, we acquired 2 new employees who start on Monday as career advisors. And so as far as the work activity for our division, we call on Gary Goggins and Patrick Irvin, who will give updates as to what's transpired since our last meeting. Thank you, Gary and Patrick.
Hi, I'm Gary Goggins. I'm the WIA Regional Manager for the Southeast Arkansas. We cover the 10 counties in Southeast Arkansas. Just as a brief update, we've been working with the state representative, the state Department of Workforce Services, and they're helping to provide technical assistance for our youth services that we provide. So we've been receiving that. We have met with Asset Evergreen in Pine Bluff. They are, unfortunately, they're having to lay off approximately 90 to 100 employees. One of their lines is shutting down at the paper mill. And so we're working with them with the dislocated worker task force. I'm having feedback, so I think I'm pretty loud. You probably won't see the microphone. But we're working with the dislocated worker task force out of Little Rock to help these employees that are being laid off from Evergreen to transition into either training assistance or into new employment. So we'll be working with their staff members and with the dislocated worker task force as well. Our staff has also been involved with going to community fairs, job fairs, and where we're doing outreach and trying to recruit for the WOA programs. So we're out doing that as well. We have some upcoming high schools and colleges that we're planning to visit and also doing recruitment for our program. I think one of the problems with WOA is that we're not well known in the community. I've been doing this for 19 years and we still have that problem of getting our name out. So I want to encourage everyone here to contact us. If you know anyone in your community that need help with tuition assistance, books, transportation to go to school, a lot of support services we have to offer. We have money available, but we need the participants to enroll in our program to receive those services that are available to them. I won't give you, most of you may have my number, but I'll go ahead and give it to you again. It's 870-619-4803. So if you know anyone that needs services for youth services, adult or dislocated worker services, just give our staff a call at that number. And even if that is a Pine Bluff Workforce Center number, we can direct you to the other offices throughout Southeast Arkansas. Any questions? If not, that is my report. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Patrick Irvin. I'm the Business Services Coordinator. Business Services has got a footprint in just about all of you all's communities. And this is just anecdotal evidence. We've been hearing a lot about businesses not being able to find people to do entry-level type jobs. Well, A lot of people are starting to go into their own business. One of the things that I've been working with is the SAVE program. It's our revolving loan program that assists startup businesses and businesses looking to expand. And some of the diversity of businesses and locations that I've been working with. There's one client that's trying to start a lawn service in Crossett. There's a nonprofit trying to get off the ground and Reed. And there's also a daycare in Lake Village. So we have people going into their own businesses and not going back to the traditional workforce. We also done a recruitment for A+ Apparel in Star City. It's a pre-apprenticeship week-long program, and they plan to do 4 cohorts of 5 people in entry-level positions. And ACEF, Arkansas Construction Education Foundation, is providing that training. So we're in the process of recruiting people to do that. Excuse me, let me up here. And also, along with compliance, Shakita Alexander, we provided a training and a technical assistance for all of our training providers, all those who are desiring to either start providing training for our WIOA clients or those who are currently providing. We have provided a technical assistance back on September 13th, where we discussed with them that our planning committee and our workforce board desires that those who are in WIOA trainings be tracked back to the previous year and brought up to date to where those clients are now in the program. And the federal government made the tracking back retroactive to July 1 of this year. So we provided that training, also gave them an update on how to build a profile in Arkansas Job Link. And we also had a federal review from our project office in Dallas on September 1st. Key staff from throughout the organization provided information for the data that we submitted. That federal review, they wanted collateral items such as videos, flyers, any kind of tangible evidence to back up the data that we had been submitting to them. And they did ask us some questions like, how would CAD perform, or what plans would they have if we suddenly got an influx of federal dollars? So we provided additional information for that. And then we also have to maintain something called the permanent maintenance file for the state of Arkansas. And we've also provided information for that. And I want to say too, one of the things that Mayor Simon didn't mention in her presentation is her city got funded for a grant.
That's on my, that's right here. I got it at the end of every report. I wanted to get some cadence, so you leave it alone.
Okay, but what I will say, Mayor Simon, is we are actually in the community, right? A block up from where that project will take place, Belmont and what's the street up here?
Robin, this is Belmont, Robin.
So we're actually in the location where that project will take place. So I want to commend Mayor Simon and Mayor Carter from Montrose for that. Those are my personal projects that were assigned to me, and I want to commend them for the access they gave me to information, to people, to the engineers, to make all of that happen. So we are beginning to see some of the fruits of those labors as well. And just finally, there are some things that are pending in business services. We are working with a project with Reed for a community center where we've been asked by Crossett for a prospective company to provide some technical assistance on some outreach strategy for recruitment of workers. And we're working through some details with different agencies to see how we can help a tech company looking to locate in Pine Bluff called People Shores. And we've got to work out some logistics with them before the board makes a final decision on how we're going to proceed. And finally, we do have entrepreneurial grant, with an organization, called the Generated Pine Bluff. We have had to suspend the kickoff of those entrepreneurship training because of lack of participation, and also the funding agency where we got the money from at point of contact is gone to another organization. So this is my presentation for business services. Still quite a bit happening, and a lot of y'all's communities. Any questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you for your reports. We'll go ahead and call on Karen Barlow. Yes, ma'am, to give a report on what she's doing in grants administration. You can stand right there, ma'am.
I've talked to more of you on the phone than I've met, but I'm Karen and I'm contracted to Southeast to help them with their overflow in grants administration. And since the last board meeting, we've had 5 applications submitted or will be tomorrow. The city of Dermont, McGee, and Wilmot is submitting CDBG grants for their sewer system improvements. The total runs around $300,000. We have submitted an application for the hazard mitigation grant program for the counties of Bradley and Shea. We're waiting to hear if they're gonna approve it so that we can update our hazard mitigation plan. We have been invited to submit a brick application to FEMA, and that one is a nationwide competitive, and it's for Ashley County and Chico County. So that's all I have.
Okay, that's good. That's good enough. And if you want to get in contact with Ms. Barlow, we can give you her contact information if you don't already have it. You can email us and we will make sure that you get it. Okay. Now also Ricky Works.
Well, as you can tell from Karen's report, it's been a busy couple of months since the last meeting. Since that, we've worked on the hospital grants. We've had public hearings in all 4 counties. Bradley, Chico, Drew, and Shea required second public hearing. We've got all that information turned in. We've submitted the RFPs. The money has been distributed. So all of those projects now are in closeout, and we'll be working on that in the next 2 weeks. We have signed the grant agreement for 2 projects, a wastewater treatment plant in Montrose and a drainage project here in Dumas. We're working on the environmental review for those while the engineers is preparing the plans and specs. So we hope by the first of the year be ready to get those out for bid, and we can start construction shortly after. We did submit 5 park grants. There were several others from around the district that were submitted. Received notice that Dumas and Hamburg have been selected to attend the grant hearings for the 50/50 matching grant parks. And the Arkansas City was selected to attend the grant hearing for the fun parks. And those hearings are going to be held October 28th and 29th at the Jacksonville Community Center. We've also working on 3 general assistance grants. One for drainage in Arkansas City, new pumping station in Alzheimer, and a water treatment changing of the filter in Fountain Hill. Those are due Friday, and we will be turning those in tomorrow. And hopefully those are 2 very big projects. Hopefully they'll be funded. If you have any questions, I'll be around after the meeting.
As everyone can hear, we have a lot going on. And also I want to add that we are working on some EDA applications with the Pine Report. Working on one with the UAM CrossFit. And I have a may or not. we do have another one that we're working on. So we are pretty busy doing these applications, at this time. And you're ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. And Zane's gonna let you know a lot of other stuff that we're working on as well. But before I call him, what I wanna say is, I think it might be a good idea, us being Southeast Arkansas, to just like with what, the mayor of Froston has done, if you have some good news about projects you have been awarded, something that you want to, express and let everyone know what's going on in your community, I think it might be a good idea. And what you think in doing this meeting to let everybody know what's going on in your community if you want to. But what do you think about having a space in the meeting to have you allowed to do that? You think so? Is that a good idea? Okay. Well, at our next meeting, unless you want to start today.
Well, I've already said basically what's happening in Lewis, and I didn't forget about drainage and your assistance you're gonna give me with another project. I just looked on the agenda and says they call Patricia Hall to go back activity reports, and I wrote on the side drainage and building because I wanted to give some thanks not only to Patricia, but to everybody else that's in the agency that assisted me with the drainage grant. Because when I got that information that there was a grant available, you know, it had a short timeline, and I finally said, I think I said to you, you don't expect me to do all this at this little short period of time. And he finally said to me, no, we're gonna do most of it. You just need basic information. So we did get the grant, and we have a drainage problem. We have some yards right across the street. Sidewalk is cracking and holes in the yard. And then behind this street, immediately on this side, to the south side, Robinwood, we have some yards, and it didn't just develop this year, it's been developing over a period of time. That also have some sinkholes in them, and so that's what that drainage grant is for. And then I also asked, and by the way, Rick is working with me on trying to get that under control and established so we can start the work. And then I have also asked for CAD, and Tricia has agreed to help me with the, doing the administrative part and the ad bidding part for the, maintenance building, which we don't know when it's gonna get built, but we're ready to build it. So, I just wanted to say thanks to all of it.
You're welcome. Okay, yes, sir.
I would like to say to the board, thank you for all your work, your service, and Ricky. We did get awarded Montrose, Simon Bear Montrose, we did get awarded $330,000 grant to do our sewer plant and stuff. But I want to thank Mr. Ball first, because we couldn't get our project really getting started because we couldn't get the sewer ponds and stuff mowed. But he assists me, didn't charge me a dime, and I want to thank him for being there for me. You know, you gotta have good friends too. And we also got the tractor grant project that we're gonna be able to have our own tractor. But I just want to express to you, Mr. Ball, I appreciate you for coming and assist me because you saved me a $10,000 fine.
I think we're ready. Oh, he wants, okay, come on.
Sometimes as chairman, you kind of get overlooked a little bit and I forget things, but I wanted to say, and many from Chico County may not even know this. We have, Chico County has been awarded an EPA grant for brownfield cleanup, $3 million. We were only one of two counties that received that federal funding. We're excited about it. One of those properties, one in Lake Village, one in Eudora. One of those properties is right on the rail line. So we're hoping that that might entice some industry or something. It's about almost 100 acres that could house something there, and utilize our railroads. So I'm excited about that, but I wanted to let everybody know I'm proud of that. So.
Congratulations.
Now the fun starts. All right, before we get to that elephant in the room, your recycling grants are available. I've handed out to the judges that are present. I will get everything else emailed toward the beginning of next week. If you need some help with your recycling monies, if you're looking at projects, give me a call and I can assist you there. Transportation on tires continues to roll. The facility is at 100%. The staff there was able to unclog the tire to ride fuel line, and both machines are running at full capacity on that end. So that's a little bit on the solid waste side, quiet. Nothing on the agenda, thus the reasoning for not having the meeting afterwards. On your recycling grants, if you would like to get something done before 2020 or 2022, get those in for the December board meeting, and we will have those on the agenda there, okay? All right, railroad, a quick update on the rehab of our railroad project. 8,500 ties, 10,600 linear foot of rail, matching joint bars, 3,600 tie plates were all delivered today, along with 6,600 rail anchors, about 456 kegs of spikes. Everything is rolling with the rehab on our rail. There are about 10 men on site right now. Another 15 are traveling. They should be here hopefully tomorrow morning and start full blow on the rail rehab. We are also looking forward to an opportunity to partner with the Lake Providence Port. We're going to continue to press to get funds to move on our bridges. And we've identified about 6 other projects for this money. In addition to the bridges outlined in segments B and C, we're looking at the Eudora side rail that's located in the city limits of Eudora. The Lake Providence Port will have a project on their end, widening a road. We're looking at 4 crossings within the city limits of Eudora to fix those and bring those to grade. We are looking at bringing money back into the Section D rehab to have a complete set of uniform rails, everything to spec for Class 2 from A through D. We are looking at the Gates Road in Chico County, a drainage project there, and as well as a spur line at the Epstein Gin located in Lake Village. So we're going to partner with Lake Providence Port. They've got plenty of match money available. We're going to facilitate the writing of that grant, the submittal, stay on top of it, and see if we can achieve some extra funds, several million that we're looking at to get these projects done. So any questions on the railroad or solid waste? Oh, my apologies. We will need a motion from the floor. Basically, the motion will be this. We need a motion from this body to grant CED the authority to go into the grant writing process and administration to go after these matching funds in partnership with Lake Providence Port.
And for more information about what that is, these are EDA funds. EDA has some 80-20 money, 80% grant, 20% match. The 20% match will be coming from Lake Providence Port. We do not have to put any matching dollars in that. So since they have the funds from the state to put towards a project, they were happy to partner with us so we can pull together our resources and get some funds to take care of some more railroad rehabilitation and bridge work and whatever else we need for this railroad project.
Second motion and seconds on the floor.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Thank you.
Okay. Anything else on the railroad or solid waste?
And anyway, if you want to know what is more information on timelines and what specifically is going on with the info project in your packet, you do have this information update. You can review it. If you have any questions, just give us a call or reach out. And if you're interested in seeing what's actually going on, just drive down the highway. You'll see the work being done. And if you're
All right, also in your packet, if you would, turn to this form. Got the CED letterhead on top. The Coronavirus State and Local Fiscal Recovery Fund. All right, this deals with ARPA. Some of our communities and counties have reached out to the district and asked what would we be able to provide and what would be the cost measures for CED as a properly suited grant agency to help manage projects for your ARPA monies. We have reached out to some of our fellow economic districts. We've asked them what they are looking at. We've been in communication with the Association of Counties as well as the Municipal League. And we've tried to create a uniform structure that other districts are going to abide by or follow. And that is this payment structure here, okay? So for example, if you contact our offices and you say, Shane, we're going to use some ARPA money and we are going to, just follow me on this one, we're going to add on to our health clinic. But we need help securing an architect, an engineer, putting it out for bid. What would you charge our community to assist us with this particular endeavor? You see here the breakdown of the percentages that CED would charge to administer that process up until this point. Paying the bills and submittals through the portal. We will do everything up to that point, okay? The paying of the invoices, cutting the checks, the report that's due to the Department of Treasury will still be at the responsibility of the municipality or the county, all right? So 5%, you see the list of projects that the district would partner with and what the percentage of that particular project, not your entire money, whatever that project is going to cost, it'll be 5% of that project. If you need us to do the things in item or in column number 2, it's then 6%. If you need everything done across the board, except for submitting the payments, cutting the checks, and reporting in the portal, it's 8% per project. Okay. Now, to better assist our communities, because this is your money, we built in some cap measures. You see the caps in here. Okay, if you come to us and your project is only $45,000, then you're looking at your cost to the district for us to manage this to be capped at $3,000. Do those columns make sense? Any questions? Okay, for us to accept this, we will be putting this before you as a form of a motion to adopt these price measures and this as policy.
Excuse my laziness, but I've got gout. It's hurting me real bad to get up and down, so y'all just use my sit down. So moved. We have a motion? Second. We have a motion, second. Question? All in favor say aye. Any opposed?
All right. Back to ARPA. We have received several questions, lots of phone calls, lots of time spent with you, and that's what we're here for. On this premium pay. I think many of our counties have already delved off into that venture. Some of our communities are looking at this situation. We had another workshop yesterday through the Municipal League on premium pay because there are a lot of moving parts with premium pay. Okay. I will meet with the city of Rising next Monday. I've met with Star City. I've met with McGee and several others on this. Okay. If you have any doubts, any concerns, pump the brakes. You've got time. I understand, believe me, as an alderman, I understand what you are dealing with when you're getting the phone calls and so-and-so has already gotten theirs. When are my employees going to get it? Or when are we going to get some of it? So I get that. But you do have time. 2024 is the deadline to have the money appropriated, line item. Okay, then you've got another year and a half, almost 2 years to spend it. Okay, but if you do have any questions, if you do have any concerns, by all means, give me a call. And if I don't have the answer, as I told one mayor, and I got him an answer within just a few minutes, I will bird dog that answer. All right, but let me say this. Two things. Number one, whatever the city or county does with these funds, whomever you disperse it to, whomever you grant it to, do not forget you are responsible for the expenditures of those funds. So if and when the Department of Treasury decides, however long down the road, to come back and audit this fund, the individuals that signed those things are going to be held accountable. Not saying that to scare you. I'm saying that to tell you, pump the brakes. Get all of your T's crossed and your I's dotted, then make the move. Okay? The other item is this. Many outside agencies, entities, from water associations to fire departments to your trash companies, they're wanting a piece of this as well. Okay? Can you do it? Yeah, you can. There is some leeway from the Department of Treasury that would allow the municipality or the county to give a grant to a third-party agency for whatever they want to do with it and whatever they've got going on. But you're accountable. So if third-party agency is coming to you saying, hey, we heard you gave your county or city employees premium pay, I want to give my guys premium pay because they're doing a service to the city. That can be done, okay, through the form of a grant from your entity to that entity. But what that entity does with the money, you're going to be responsible for. So use an extreme level of caution. And we know how this thing works. You give it to one, your phone is fixing to ring because there are going to be some others line up going, I want some of that pie too. Am I right? It happens. Okay. So right now, I'll take a few moments before I turn it back over to the chairman. Are there any initial questions from the elected officials concerning ARPA that I could answer now? We all good?
But we do get to keep the interest on this money. That's what they said, correct?
You can keep the interest, you can take the money, put it in an interest-bearing account, and you can use that interest that those monies accumulate on projects that are eligible under the original guidelines of ARPA. Okay, now.
That's the reason I'm saying that is because I heard several people say, well, we can take the interest off of it, we put it in our general. Well, that's not what it says.
No.
It says that the interest can be used, can be added to.
That's right.
The money, am I right?
It can be added to the money as long as that money is spent under the original guidelines of the interim final rule for ARPA. Okay, now, the other thing, and I know several of you have done it, some of you have done it, and you've been like, oh my goodness, I had no idea I was getting this much. Some of you have done it, and you went, well, it wasn't as much as I thought. And some of you said, I'm not having any at all. If you have not calculated your lost revenue, by all means, get on the Arkansas Municipal League website, go to the ARPA section. They've got all the documents, the Excels, everything you need to calculate your lost revenue. That lost revenue goes back into your general fund and can be used for any item that is outlined in your general operating budget. It's lost revenue. It's money that could have went to police, fire, animal control, parks, admin, anything that is outlined in your operating budget. Okay?
Yeah, that was the only portion I had. Because we've done our lost revenue, so I can take that amount because it's more than what we got. But whatever portion I want to take of that amount, I can transfer it into my general account.
Mayor makes a very valid point in this, and this is where I wish some had slowed down just a touch on the premium pay, especially if you had not calculated lost revenue. Okay, give me this scenario. You've done premium pay. Premium pay took X out of your ARPA fund. Then you turn around and you did lost revenue. Lost revenue is now Y, but you don't have enough left in your ARPA fund to pay back your lost revenue because you get premium pay. That lost revenue is more important to the operations of the city, not in any way, shape, or form to take away from the hard work of our employees. But that lost revenue that can go back in your general fund can go to street overlays, it can go to repairs, it can go to equipment, it can go to a number of items that your city desperately needs to continue to serve its citizens. Okay? That is very important. Any other questions?
Shane,
Yes. Yes.
on that lost revenue, you still have to keep track of that before you spend it.
You do. Then what you do is by ordinance, you've got the money, you calculate lost revenue. Lost revenue is X out of your ARPA fund. You then, through ordinance, through your council, you're going to direct that monies now back to your general fund, and you're going to put it in line items A, B, C, and D. That's what you have to show. And once it's back in A, B, C, and D, you can go through your appropriate expenditure procedures, just like you would for a normal operating budget, to expend those items. But you have the freedom to move it from the ARPA fund to anything in your line item in your operating budget. Just be sure and do it by ordinance. Okay? That way you've got the reporting figures that you need to put back through the portal for the Department of Treasury, so they can see that, you know, the town of Knight had 85,000 in lost revenue. They had 500,000 in ARPA funds. They took that 85,000, put it back into the general fund. They earmarked it to item number 300.9, which is administrative services. They know where the money went. Does that make sense? All right, any other questions?
Clarify what you just said about ordinance and resolution, because if I'm not mistaken, municipal league sent us a resolution.
Okay.
Not an ordinance.
You can do both. I prefer the ordinance as an alderman because it's more ironclad. A resolution is just we resolve to. Okay, an ordinance assigns it a number, ordinance number 45 of 2021, whereas the city, you know how they're all written out. That, to me, in my interpretation of that, is more sealed. It's more ironclad. Rather than just being resolved, we're making it an ordinance that money is going from A to B, and that's it. But you can do both. That was just a preference. Okay. Also, that ordinance gives you time in state law that, you know, there's that 30-day window that it has to sit there before it becomes law, to make sure that, hey, we're good, we're following procedure, we've got our documentation, we've got everything we need to back up that particular ordinance.
Shane, clarify on premium pay about elected officials.
Elected officials are eligible. Go ahead, sir. I'm sorry.
City council.
Any elected official is eligible for premium pay. Okay, but the same, what's the word I'm looking for here? Restrictions for the elected officials are for the eligible employees. For example, your elected officials would not be eligible to receive premium pay if they conducted any business from home, if they had attended a council meeting via Zoom, if they attended a committee meeting via Zoom. Those hours are not eligible for premium pay. So you would have to go back for that elected official and somehow, some way, calculate the number of hours they attended a city council meeting or a quorum court meeting. Then you have to put a formula to justify the rate that you're going to give them. Is it comparable or in the same spirit that you paid your city employees? Because you can, if you get an hourly rate for your city councilman that per hour just astronomically exceeds what Mr. Ford got as the street superintendent, you're going to get dinged for it. Okay, so you've got to find that formula. How many council meetings, how many committee meetings, how much time did they spend, assign it a dollar amount that way. So I know, like for us, the city that I represent, no elected officials. We've stayed away from that Pandora's box. Yeah, bingo. Bingo. Anything else?
I know you're gonna have other questions, as you know, usual, that's expected, but you have Shelley's number. Okay, and really, and I'm being for real, and he knows this, that if you need for him to come to your city council or full court,
Oh, yes.
okay,
Maybe that's right.
to talk to them about it. Come to you, just a meeting afterwards and talk to you about it. Please get with him and schedule some time. Okay?
Two things, back to the ordinance issue. Anytime on council that we have an expenditure that's in addition to or outside of a budgeted line item, if we have to make an adjustment within our budget, we have to do that by ordinance. Okay, so that's why I'm encouraging you to do this expenditures on your, or the moving of your lost revenue, do it by ordinance, because we have to do that anyway. If our fire department comes to us and says, hey, I need to move, $25,000 from this to this, we have to do that via ordinance. All right, now, the other thing, October the 18th at 6 p.m., I will be at the Bradley County Quorum Court meeting. I will be giving a report to the Bradley County Quorum Court on their solid waste operations. Judge Tyndall from DeShay County plans to be there, and I invite any other elected official that is starting to go, what are we going to do about our trash service? What are we going to do about trash trucks? What are we going to do about our landfill? I'm going to give a full operational report to their quorum court on a cost analysis of conducting solid waste operations and what they need to be looking at moving into the future. Okay? Because just like with any business, ladies and gentlemen, the cost of front load, rear load trucks is going up, 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 up. Our population, unfortunately, in Southeast is not going up. And to absorb those cost increases, you've got to have a customer base that grows in accordance with your cost increase. If not, you're going to have rates that will have you living in a camper down by the river because they don't want you in town anymore. They're going to run you off. You follow? So we're going to go through all of that if you're interested in coming Monday night at 6 o'clock, Bradley County Quorum Court. Okay? Any other questions for me? Nope. Thank you, folks.
Thank you, man. Here, did you want to do something about one?
The only thing that I was gonna say is, I do it a little bit different than Shane. I start with you from the beginning, make sure you have your paperwork lined up. Make sure that you have your Title VI, you have your Title VI coordinator, make sure you have your budget committee, everything documented before you start doing anything. So I am working with a few small cities and some counties, but I'm doing different than what Shane is doing. Shane is doing the big jobs.
And I wanted her to speak to you on that. Some of you may need that particular service more than the per project basis. We do work together, but Southeast is a big area, so that will not break our heart. I'm just saying. So if you want to go that direction, okay. That's it.
Any other business? Do we need representatives, since we talked about it with a lot of government programs, do I have anything to add? Your unemployment statistics for any folders. Our next meeting will be December the 9th at Pine Bluff Convention Center. There's no further business. I need a motion to adjourn. A motion second, all in favor say aye. Thank y'all. Good turnout.